Have you ever wondered why a child comes into your life? Why some families welcome children easily, while others struggle for years? And if there are no children, does karma still find a way to appear? Hello friends, and welcome back to Son.Mindfulness. Please stay with us until the end of this video, because today we will walk together on a very deep journey. Many families today carry questions that have no clear answers. Some look at their children and see blessings. Others see challenges filled with tears. Some long in silence because they have no children at all. So how does karma really work? And what can we do to transform it and welcome new life? In this video, we will explore those answers, not only through Buddhist teachings, but also through real-life stories. You will see that children are mirrors of karma. You will also see that karma extends into every relationship we have. And you will discover that family is the greatest classroom for the soul. Son.Mindfulness was created to share gentle wisdom, to help you understand karma, to help you understand yourself, so that you may live with peace, happiness, and strength. Please support this work by subscribing to the channel and walking with us. I wish you good health, peace of mind, happiness, and good fortune. And now let us begin the main content. Stay with us until the very end, because in part 6, you will hear about how to create good karma to welcome a child. A practical and hopeful teaching for families who long for children. Part 1. Children as mirrors of karma. Dear friends, have you ever looked quietly into your child's eyes and asked yourself, why did this soul come to me? Is there an invisible thread binding us together? In Buddhist teaching, the answer is clear. A child is not only flesh and blood. A child is also a mirror reflecting the karma of the parents. A soul does not enter a family by chance. It is an appointment made long ago. It is the continuation of karmic ties planted in past lives. I invite you to imagine this. Each child is a mirror reflecting the spiritual journey of the parent. Sometimes that mirror is bright and gentle. It brings harmony, laughter, and joy like a gift from heaven. Other times the mirror reflects unresolved shadows, anger, fear, and unfinished debts carried from the past. A fellow practitioner in California once told me, "Teacher, my daughter has been difficult since birth. She was sickly and often irritable, but through her I learned patience. I learned what unconditional love really means. Without her, I might still live in selfishness." Do you see? Children do not always come to make us happy. Sometimes they come to help us grow. Modern psychology explains this in its own way. It speaks of the parent-child bond as an emotional mirror. What is unhealed in the parent often shows itself in the child. An angry father will see that same temper rise in the child. An anxious mother may see her child restless or fearful. Buddhism calls this karmic reflection. Psychology calls it generational transmission. Different words but the same truth. Children arrive to show us ourselves. And remember, dear friends, this is not punishment. Buddhism never teaches that a difficult child is a sign of guilt. No, not at all. Instead, it is an opportunity, a chance to learn, to love more deeply, to purify the heart. Some children arrive like angels. They embrace us with gentle eyes as if we have known them forever. They continue the seeds of love planted in lifetimes past. Other children bring worry, tears, and sleepless nights. In those moments we should ask, is the universe sending me a lesson? Is karma reminding me that it is time to practice compassion? There is an old saying, children are debts. Repay them and they end. Love them and they remain. Debts may be of love, of duty, of joy, or of sorrow. But every debt is also a chance for freedom. When you hold a child in your arms, you are also holding your own karma. Every smile, every tear, every moment of patience, and even every burst of anger are all pieces of the soul's great learning. So if your child is difficult, do not despair. If your child is gentle and kind, do not become proud. Both are mirrors, showing you what still needs healing. The true importance is not having a perfect child. The true importance is what you have learned through their presence. And through that journey, you become more mature, more loving, and closer to the freedom of the soul. Part 2. Karma is not limited to parenthood. Dear friends, many people believe that karma shows itself most clearly in the bond between parent and child. That is true, but it is not the whole story. In Buddhist teaching, karma never stops at the walls of the nuclear family. Even if you have no children, karma will still appear. It will still find a way to teach you what must be learned. I invite you to picture this. Life is like a vast mirror. Every person you meet, family, friends, coworkers, or even a stranger you see only once, reflects a part of your karmic story. An old friend of mine in Texas once shared with me, "Teacher, I never had children. For years I felt empty. But over time, I realized my husband, my sisters, even my neighbors, they were all karmic teachers sent to help me learn love and patience." I smiled when I heard that. Because truly, karma does not leave anyone out. Think about it in your own life. Maybe you have clashed with a sibling. Maybe you have struggled with a difficult colleague or a demanding boss. Maybe a stranger once made you angry with a single careless act. Were those moments really random? Or were they karmic reflections, showing you something about yourself? Modern science has a word for this: mirror neurons. Cells in the brain that reflect the emotions and actions of others. When we meet someone angry, we often feel our own anger rise. When we sit with someone calm, our heart settles down. Buddhism has taught this for thousands of years. No one comes to us by accident. Every meeting is karmic resonance. Once an elderly woman at the temple asked me, "Teacher, I never had children. Does that mean my karma is finished?" I smiled and replied, "No, my dear. Karma does not end just because you have no children. It shows itself through the people you meet every day. The neighbor who annoys you, the niece who needs your care, even the vendor at the market, all are karmic ties." Here's the wonder of it. Karma always chooses the form best suited to your growth. If you need to learn compassion, life will send someone weak who needs your care. If you need to learn patience, life will send someone who tests your temper. If you need to learn letting go, life will send someone you cannot hold on to. With or without children, karma always finds its way. So let me ask you, has anyone ever made you angry with just a single word? Has anyone ever felt strangely familiar, as if from a life long ago? That too is karma. Living mirrors sent to help you finish your unfinished lessons. When we understand this, we complain less about others. Instead of asking, "Why are they making me suffer?" we can ask, "What lesson am I meant to learn through them?" With that shift in vision, every relationship, pleasant or painful, becomes a chance to grow. Karma is not limited to parenthood. It flows through the entire stream of life. Through every relationship, every glance, every handshake, every smile, even every argument. Each person is a mirror, showing us our own soul, teaching us to love more, to endure more, to see more clearly inside ourselves. And when we realize this truth, life is no longer a string of random events. Life becomes a vast school. Every person we meet is a teacher. Every moment is a lesson. And every day is a new chance to move closer to wisdom and compassion. Part 3. Family as the deepest spiritual school. Dear friends, in many years of guiding others on the spiritual path, I have come to see one truth. Family is the greatest school each of us must attend. Some people learn in universities. Others learn on journeys far from home. Still others learn through books. But the deepest lessons come from the home where we grew up. They come from family ties that cannot be escaped. Within the family, especially in the bond between parent and child, we are placed in a classroom we cannot leave. Think about it. You can quit a job, you can end a friendship, you can even move to another city. But with children, Whether easy or difficult, obedient or rebellious, parents cannot say, "I quit." That is why Buddhism calls family a special school, a place where the soul is tested by challenges it cannot avoid. A mother once cried to me, "Teacher, I love my child so much, but sometimes she drives me crazy. She does not listen. She challenges me every day. At times, I think I cannot bear it anymore." I listened, then gently replied, "My dear, your child is your teacher. She did not come to hurt you, but to teach you patience. If you endure, your heart will grow far greater." Do you see? Every class has its exams. Children are the living exam for every parent. Love in a family is not only gentle moments, it is also sleepless nights when a child is sick. It is tears when a child misbehaves. It is worry when a child faces hardship in life. But it is in those very moments that selflessness is born. We must put aside our own ego to think of our child. We must learn to sacrifice, to forgive, to be compassionate. Science confirms this truth. Psychologists note that parents are the people most deeply changed by children. The quick-tempered learn restraint. The selfish learn to live for others. The aimless suddenly find purpose, caring for a new life. Buddhism calls this transformation of karma, from selfishness to selflessness, from anger to patience, from attachment to release. Sometimes a child comes only for a short while, then departs. The pain of losing a child is beyond words. But seen through the lens of karma, even this departure is a lesson. The child may come only to play a brief role, to teach parents the depth of love, the truth of impermanence, the necessity of letting go. Then the soul moves on, leaving behind a mark that reshapes the parent's spirit. One Buddhist devotee once told me, "Teacher, I never understood compassion until I lost my first child. The pain burned like fire. But through it, my heart opened to the suffering of others. I learned to feel, to share, and to know that love cannot be kept only for myself." That is a living example. Family brings happiness, yes, but it also brings priceless spiritual lessons. So dear friends, please remember, every moment with a child, whether joy or sorrow, is a chance to see yourself clearly. When you feel anger, ask, "What is the lesson here?" When you feel happiness, ask, "What seed of the past is now bearing fruit?" When you feel pain, ask, "Is this the path for my soul to grow?" Family is the classroom where love is tested, where patience is trained, where selflessness is born. Parents may meet children with joy or with sorrow, but do not call it chance. See it as opportunity to grow, to resolve karma, to evolve spiritually. For it is only in this unique school that we truly learn life's greatest lesson. That real love is not possession, but release. That family is not only shelter, but the classroom of the soul. Part 4. Having no children is not a loss, but another path. Dear friends, many people have come to me with tears in their eyes, asking one question that weighs heavily on my heart. "Teacher, I have no children. Does that mean my life is incomplete?" That question carries not only personal sorrow, but also shame and emptiness that society often plants in their hearts. People are told that only with children is a life whole. But through the lens of Buddhism, this is not true. Having no children is not a loss. It can be another path, a wider and deeper journey for the soul. I invite you to imagine this. Sometimes not having children is simply because the karma of this life is not focused on parenthood. The soul may need to learn different lessons, lessons of love that extend beyond 1 or 2 children in a small home. Lessons of love that reach out to the community, to society, even to humanity as a whole. A Buddhist woman in New York once shared with me, "Teacher, my husband and I could not have children. At first I was devastated. I felt less than others. But then I realized, there are elders, orphans, lonely people around me. They all wait for a hand to hold. I began to volunteer, to foster children, and now my life is full of laughter even without a biological child." I smiled when I heard that. because it shows that children are not limited to bloodlines. They can also be spiritual children, those to whom we give love, care, and guidance along life's path. Buddhism teaches that each of us has a unique karmic journey. Some are called to the narrow lesson of parenthood. Others, whose karma flows differently, are called to embrace a broader circle of lives. They may become teachers, planting seeds of wisdom. They may become healers, caregivers, or creators, leaving behind treasures of spirit for future generations. These children are no less sacred, for they are born of love and intention, not just of flesh and blood. Perhaps you have heard the saying, to give birth is to sow a seed, but to give love is to sow an eternal spring. A teacher leaves behind thousands of students. A doctor heals thousands of patients. An artist inspires millions of hearts. Do they not also have children? In fact, their path may be even wider and deeper, touching countless souls at once. I remember a middle-aged man once said to me, "Teacher, I have no children, but I have my students. I see each one as my own child. When they grow up and live with kindness, I feel as if I myself have become a father." That statement holds a deep truth. Children do not always have to come through blood. They can be any soul we love, guide, and nurture. So, dear friends, if in this life you have no children, do not grieve. It is not a missing piece, but an invitation from the universe. Step forward. Open your arms wider. Plant your love more broadly. For every soul you touch, every heart you warm, is a spiritual child in your karmic story. Having no children does not mean losing a door. Sometimes it means another door opens. A door to greater love. A door to service. A door to sow seeds in many lives. And perhaps that very path is the greatest karmic lesson your soul came here to learn. Part 5. The final purpose of karma is liberation, not bondage. Dear friends, there is one truth we must always remember. Karma does not come to punish us. It does not come to chain us forever. The ultimate purpose of karma is to free the soul, to help us learn what must be learned, to let us repay what must be repaid, and then to walk more lightly toward freedom. In daily life, every connection we meet, parents, children, siblings, friends, even strangers who pass us once, all are mirrors reflecting the soul. Some mirrors make us smile, some mirrors bring irritation, some show us the light within, others reveal the shadows we still carry. But every mirror holds deep meaning for the growth of the soul. A Buddhist devotee once asked me, "Teacher, if my karma is too heavy, how can I escape?" I replied, "When the lesson is learned, karma lets go. Just as a student who passes the exam is not held back in class. Karma keeps us only when we do not yet understand, when we have not yet matured. But when we learn pure love, true forgiveness, and compassion, the lesson ends and the door to freedom opens." Psychology describes this in its own way. It says that once an emotion is healed, it no longer controls us. For example, if we once hated someone, their memory brings pain. But when we truly forgive, we look back and feel light. At that moment, the karmic tie has fulfilled its purpose. It is no longer a chain, but a completed lesson. Think about your own life. Have you ever been deeply hurt only to realize later that it changed you for the better? A betrayal may teach you forgiveness. A person who angers you may teach patience. A departure may teach letting go. On the surface, it feels like suffering, but underneath, it is the doorway to liberation. There is an old saying, karma comes to teach, not to imprison. And when we see this truth, we stop blaming karma. Instead, we feel gratitude for karma. Gratitude that it gives us mirrors. Gratitude that it lets us see both light and shadow. And step by step, we learn to love more purely, to live more kindly, to open our hearts wider. If karma were only meant to bind, there would be no hope for anyone. But karma is a lesson, and every lesson has a graduation day. The day we learn to love, to forgive, to live selflessly, that is the day the chain of karma falls away. The soul becomes lighter, freer, closer to true peace. So, dear friends, if someone in life makes you suffer, do not see them only with blame. See them as a mirror. See them as a strict but necessary teacher. And when the lesson is complete, release them, so that both you and they may be free. For the final purpose of karma is never to trap us in suffering. It is to guide us through suffering, to bring us into clarity, and to lead us at last into spiritual freedom. Part 6. Creating good karma to welcome a child. Dear friends, in many conversations I have met couples who looked at me with worry and hesitation. Teacher, we have been married for many years, but still have no child. Is our karma too heavy? Behind that question lies a very human longing, the wish to care for a child, to hear the word mom or dad, to feel the family become more complete. But children do not come only through medicine or biology. They also come through karmic blessings. Whether a soul comes to us or not depends on the karma and merit we create. So if you wish to welcome a child, the first step is to plant seeds of virtue. Open your heart, help orphans, support single mothers, care for children in need. These actions are not only charity. They are ways of forming karmic bonds with the role of parenthood. Many people, after adopting a child or giving generously, later received the joyful news of pregnancy, because the energy of compassion itself invites a soul to join the family. But planting merit alone is not enough. We must also transform our minds. A home filled with tension, anger, or conflict is not a place where a soul wants to enter. But when husband and wife practice kindness, forgiveness, and compassion, the home becomes fertile ground for new life. In truth, a child chooses parents not only through karma, but also through the energy of love they sense in the home. In Buddhism, for generations, families longing for children have made vows and prayers. They keep precepts, they eat vegetarian meals, they release captive animals. They promise to perform acts of great kindness if blessed with a child. Such vows create waves of energy that resonate with karmic virtue, calling a suitable soul to come. A Buddhist couple in California once shared with me, "For more than 10 years, we had no children. We were in despair. Then one day we vowed to build a well for poor villagers back home. 3 months later we received the good news. That child is now our greatest joy." You see, when a vow is sincere, the universe always listens. Another essential step is making offerings and dedicating merit. Sometimes, the absence of children is not due to the body. It is due to unsettled karmic debts from the past. Souls connected to us may still carry resentment. By chanting, reciting the Buddha's name, releasing animals, and dedicating the merit to these spirits, the karmic knots begin to loosen. Then a soul is free to come without obstacles. Above all, dear friends, nurture a wide and generous love. Do not wish for a child only to bring yourself joy or to fulfill tradition. Instead, set your heart this way. May this child come, so that together we may learn, share merit, and grow. When desire is free of selfishness, good karma opens faster, blessings come nearer. Children come to parents not only through blood, but through merit, karma, and love. If you wish to welcome a child, first plant love. If you wish to be called mom or dad, first become a parent to the small lives already around you. And when blessings ripen, when the heart is calm, when conditions align, a soul will come gently, like a bird returning to its nest. So do not despair if you have no child today. See it as a reminder to live with greater kindness, to love more, to be more gentle. Because a child is not only the continuation of flesh and blood, a child is the reflection of merit and love. And when you understand this, whether children arrive early or late, they will always be a blessing, a reason for gratitude, and living proof that karma, when cultivated rightly, always leads us into the light. Conclusion. Dear friends, we have walked a long journey together, from seeing children as mirrors of karma, to understanding karma flowing through all relationships, to recognizing family as a deep spiritual classroom. We have seen that having no children is not a loss, some loss. Sometimes it opens the door to greater love. We learned that karma does not come to bind us, it comes to teach us love and to free the soul. And if we long for children, we now know how to plant blessings, through good deeds, through kind hearts, through sincere vows. What is the core message, do you remember? That life is never random. Every person we meet is a mirror. Every joy and every sorrow has meaning, and all of it leads us toward growth. Let me ask you this. When you look back at your life, what lesson stands out most? Has someone entered your life as a karmic mirror? Has someone taught you patience or shown you forgiveness? If so, I invite you to share in the comments. Your story may lift someone else's heart. My dear friends, the path is not always easy, but difficulty itself makes it a great school. And you are never alone. Every encounter, every karmic bond is a teacher. I want to pause here to express gratitude. Thank you for listening until this moment. Thank you for walking with me through these reflections. If something touched your heart today, please leave a comment below. And do not forget to subscribe and follow Son.Mindfulness. Every subscription and every kind word gives energy for me to continue. I wish you peace. I wish you health and a light spirit. I wish you happiness in your family and good fortune in your days. Please remember, you are never alone. Every meeting carries meaning. Every relationship is a gift. And when we learn to love with purity, karma opens the door to freedom. That is the path to true liberation. Thank you for being here. I look forward to sharing again with you next time. Thank you.